In PHP, there are only two numeric types you have to worry about, integer and double. An example of an integer is score equals 60. Echo get type score. That's an integer. An example of a double is latitude, for instance, equals 124 and some decimal. Let's copy this. So latitude, get type, and we see it's a double. There are a lot of functions that you can use with these two types. For instance, minimum, maximum, average, get the remainder, round a number up or down, get the absolute value of a number. And also I want to show you how to do some how to create random numbers. So let's go through some of these mathematical functions. And first we need a number of scores. So let's make an array of scores. 77, 78, 95, 92, 69, and 91. So there we have a nice array of scores. And now let me show you how to print these array of scores in a string. You say echo scores were, and then use implode. What do you want between each item in your array? A comma and a space. Scores. BR, so that'll look like this. So that way you can display an array of numbers very easily. How do you sort this? Very easy. Sort scores. There it is. How do you get the minimum? Very easy. Minimum score is min scores. And we see that it's 69, correct. How do you get the maximum? Maximum scores. Very easy. How do you get the average? Well, many people assume that you have some kind of function like that. Nope. Maybe it's called average. Nope. Fact is, there isn't one. You have to create it. So let's create it. Function get average. Get an array, no problem. And what we need to return is the sum of the array divided by how many are in the array. Nothing more than that. Let's call the correct get average. And that's the average of those scores. So that works. Let's get the remainder of each of these scores if we divide it by 7, for instance. So let's go through each one. For each scores as score. And we have here, let's echo out the remainder after dividing score by 7 is score mod 7. That's how you write it. There we are. That's all we need. Let's take a look at that. And there we have it. 69. The remainder after dividing 69 by 7 is 6, correct. The remainder after dividing 77 by 7 is 0, that's correct, etc. Let me show you how to round scores or round numbers. For instance, we have a test score of 81.4. So let's just echo that out. The test score was test score. Let's see how we're doing here. Yes, the test score was 81.4. Okay, now we want to get the rounded value. The rounded test score was round test score. And we see that it rounds it down. What if it was 81.6. You would round it up. 81.3. Rounds it down. What if you want to force it to round up or down? You use floor and seal. The rounded up test score. Seal for sealing. 82. The rounded down test score. Floor. 81. Also useful is absolute value. Absolute value is simply the positive version of a number. So the absolute value of the test score was, and then ABS. So the absolute value of 81.3 is 81.3. If test score is negative, absolute value is still positive. What's interesting here is if the number is negative, 81.3, it rounds it to the nearest whole number, which is 81. It rounds it up to 81 and rounds it down to 82. If we make that positive again, then it's rounding in the same direction. Up is always up, even if you're below 0. So now I want to show you how to do random numbers. We're going to replace our scores here with random scores. So instead of defining our scores in an array like this, we're going to say for x, let's start at 1, go until 7, keep incrementing, and build the array. mtrand is the random number generator between 60 and 90. You can also use rand, but mtrand is faster. Always use mtrand. Okay, so now we're just going to get an array of 7 random numbers. Let's see what it looks like. Oh, so we have 60, 64, 68, 70, 76, 77, 86. Go again, and you see that they're random every time, and everything changes. It's a very easy way to get random numbers in your application. So those are the basics of the basic mathematical functions that you need. There is one constant that you might be looking for, and that is m_pi if you're doing geometrical equations. Pi is always the same. Here you can see what it is. 3.14159, etc. There are a number of other mathematical functions. If you want to look at them, here let's just click on min and type Shift F2 and let Eclipse take us to the PHP documentation where you see on the left side mathematical functions and you see sine, cosine, tangent. Here you can change from decimal to hexadecimal and you have logarithms, square root, etc. So if you're doing a lot with math, it's worth it to take some time and to look through all of these functions just to see what you have available to you.